Everyone's aware of on April 3rd, 2022, that Ariana Taylor went missing. And through the investigation, her last whereabouts were early morning hours of April 3rd, right around 1 a.m. She was last seen in Maryville by her friends and family. We began the investigation after she had left the roadway. She left the roadway that morning hour and crashed. And the vehicle was unoccupied at that time. So the Indiana State Police took the crash report, and we had no driver at that point. The next day, she was not reported missing at that point. The family didn't think she was a missing person. That day went on, and around 9 p.m., I'm sorry, I correct myself, 9 p.m. on April 3rd, her mother made a missing person report with the Lake County Sheriff's Department. That report was made, and the next day, Monday, which would be April 4th, they began search parties. They used Lake County Aviation, they used the Gary Police Department, the Lake County Sheriff's Department, Department of Natural Resources. They began a search for her, and the results were negative. We went into Tuesday, which was April 5th. The mother made another second missing person report with the Gary Police Department because they believe that she was inside that vehicle and she was last seen in the city of Gary when it exited the freeway. At that point, the Gary Police Department began an investigation on April 5th, and we started the investigation looking at and putting the pieces together of where she was. We started a search of the area. We utilized Lake County Sheriff's Department dive team. We searched Deep River with sonar. We were unable to locate her. We did a secondary canine search track. That was a negative. And most of our efforts were north of the crash location and in central, about 1 to 2 mile radius around the crash. At that time, we exhausted our measures. We began putting the pieces together of where her last whereabouts were, who she was with. So we started our investigation with interviews, looking at LPR technology, looking at camera footage, and we started with her cell phone. As we continued through the week, we came into the end of the weekend, and through the investigation, we believe that she was still in the area. We don't believe she was picked up, and that's when we organized for today. We organized it for this week, and that was with the Northwest Indiana Search and Rescue Canine Team. We planned for them to come out with their canine dogs and do a second search and try to start to go south of the location of where the crash site was. So we began at it's 2800 Colorado Street, Gary, Indiana. It's Bellaboo's recreational facility. They've been very cooperative and with us with the assistance that we needed over there. And we went into that area today and we did a brief around 9 a.m. We actually started our canine search with 5 different dog teams. We gridded it out to 6 different areas, and we started the canine search in that area. About 21 minutes into the search, one of the dogs had gotten odor and then started to change of behavior and started to go towards a fence line. At that time, one of the canine handlers observed an individual we believe to be deceased at that point in the water, in a ditch, a shallow drainage ditch. This was something that individuals could not access on foot. It had a fence in between it. At that time, the Gary Police Department was notified, the County Sheriff's Department was notified with their crime lab unit, the Lake County Coroner's Office, as well as Lake Station Fire Department. They all arrived on scene. We weren't sure if we had the female identified at that time. We knew we had a deceased, what looked like a black female in her 20s that was deceased in the ditch. That was only an hour ago, and since we've been here on station, we've been able to positively identify the female as Ariana Taylor with the Lake County Coroner's Office, and the mother has been notified, and she's been on scene. So she did positively identify Ariana Taylor. So our individual in the drainage ditch that we located today is going to be Ariana Taylor. We appreciate everyone's assistance. We appreciate everyone helping us from the Northwest Indiana Canine Search and Rescue Team that came out to the Lake Station Fire Department, Department of Natural Resources, Indiana State Police provided assistance with our ground search today, and all other agencies. If I'm leaving any out, we appreciate the assistance and we thank them. I'm going to turn it over to the mayor.
Good afternoon, and thank you to Commander Hamady for giving us the brief update. Without question, it's unfortunate that we're here today, but what's more unfortunate are the results of the investigation that has positively identified the body that was identified as that of Ariana Taylor. I have, and several of our department members have been in contact with the family since the first report was made to the Gary Police Department, and as recently as yesterday, I've spoken with Miss Queena Taylor, who is a resident of Gary, the mother, and shared with her the concern of certainly the city and all of its officials, but not only that, tried to share some compassion with her from the perspective of a parent. At that particular point, we certainly weren't aware of the location of Ms. Taylor at that point, but what we were aware of and had been for some time is that she was missing. And so as a father and a grandfather, I certainly can relate to that. But just as a person, I don't think that anyone who has been in that situation certainly has the knowledge and understanding of what it's like. But what I meant to say is that anyone who hasn't experienced that can only imagine, and you certainly have to put on your compassionate hat as a person, as a resident of city. And to that extent, I want to offer the entire city of Gary some solace, as well as certainly, more importantly, the family, Ms. Queena Taylor, and the entire Taylor family, as well as all the residents and friends and family of that family who came out over the last 7 or 8 days to help in the search for Ms. Taylor. As Commander Hamady said, there were several agencies involved in the activity, and on behalf of the city of Gary, and certainly as a mayor, I want to offer our thanks to all of them and their search efforts. And I ask that each of you continue to keep this family in your prayers as the days evolve.